I bless you all. Let you all open all your three eyes and manifest the powers of Mahasadashiva. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Om Nithyananda Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Nithyanandam, welcome each and every one of you joining with us, sitting, watching us on Nithyananda TV, Kailasa's official TV channel. His Divine Holiness, Kailasa, the enlightened civilization, the greatest and only Hindu nation. Adepts of the science of reincarnation in Hinduism, recognized as the supreme pontiff of Hinduism, as the avatar of Paramashiva at a tender age, revered and worshipped now as living incarnation of superconsciousness by millions. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism manifested the best contributions of Hinduism to the world, including the science of power manifestation, yoga, and temple-based universities. Kailasa Nation. Kailasa is a microcosmic, ancient, enlightened Hindu civilizational nation which does not put importance on territory alone. Kailasa is revived by the present living incarnation of Paramashiva, the supreme pontiff of Hinduism, Jagat Guru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam. Vivekananda visualized it. Yogananda yearned for it. Aurobindo accelerated it. Osho worked for it. And Maharishi Mahesh Yogi mandated it. Due to their sincere efforts and hard work for the last 200 years, with all their blessings, Swamiji has manifested the Kailasa nation. Kailasa's supreme aim is to serve the religious and spiritual needs of 2 billion Hindus and the whole of humanity. Therefore, Kailasa is a consortium of multiple micronations, educational institutions, including Hindu universities and schools, gurukuls, de facto spiritual embassies, temples, temple monastery complexes, nunneries, food banks, Jnana animal shelters, goshalas, libraries, jnanalayas, and organic agriculture, and more. Why the revival of the Kailasa nation is needed? Some facts. Many of you may not know, but the fourth largest source of greenhouse gases is from the cattle grown for the meat industry and the soy grown to feed the cattle for the meat industry. Not only that, but the food and drug companies both conspire against the betterment of humanity to keep you sick and make money out of it. The food and drug industry, the conspiracy. According to the documentary and other sources, the World Health Organization and other major health groups have labeled both processed and red meats as carcinogenic. Yet, powerful lobbying efforts have kept America near the top of the world in meat consumption. The drug and chemical industries do their part by providing pesticide filled GMO corn and soy, fed mostly to dairy cows, and with most of the antibiotic products going to fatten up the animals most of us eat. So, this is so declared by the World Health Organization, the WHO, and they have labeled red meat as carcinogenic. And if you don't know what that means is very damaging for the heart and very damaging for a person's health. Yet, even though it has been labeled by a powerful health body as the World Health Organization and other health bodies, health officials, they have still they because of the powerful advertising efforts and lobbying, as the article says, they have kept America near the top of the world in meat consumption. Even though this has been declared as poisonous, this has been declared as um, dangerous to health. The drug and chemical industries do their part in providing pesticides. So, with so many people working together, so many people giving such horrible, creating such horrible food for consumption, even though it has been declared as non-eatable, it has been declared as poisonous. No one is, they still have kept the US near the top of the world in the meat consumption. So you can see the power of the lobbying and how much to what extent they are going to get people to eat whatever horrible things that they are providing. It seemed that all the large health organizations were encouraging people to eat the very foods linked to the diseases they're supposed to be fighting against. It all started to make sense when some of the health organization funders were discovered. Kraft Foods, Oscar Mayer, Tyson Chicken, Danone and Yoplait Yogurts, Pizza Hut, KFC, Taco Bell, Subway, Domino's, and the beef and dairy industries themselves. Not a single one of the four health organizations was willing to be interviewed. So you can see here that for all the four health organizations, they're all being funded by they are all being funded by food industries, by uh, multi-billion dollar companies who provide food and so on. Many of these people do not even outsource their chicken. Many of their meat, they grow it in-house within their company. So as a result to that, they have the freedom to do the genetic experimentation and so much on their cattle. Because now that these very same companies uh, are sponsoring and are funding their health organizations, then naturally you know what that means. The one who sponsors is the one who dictates what health organizations will say and will not say. As it's given here very clearly in the first statement itself, it seemed all the large health organizations were encouraging people to eat the very food linked to the diseases they're supposed to be fighting against. So you can see the irony, and you can see how hypocritic it is, how a health organization is actually making a person taking a person more towards the death rather than making them more and more healthy. It gets worse. ACS, AHA, ADA are all accepting millions of dollars from pharmaceutical companies that are making billions of dollars from the diseases that health organizations are supposedly trying to combat. This includes Pfizer, Merck, Lilly, Johnson and Johnson, Abbott, and others. These big pharma firms have a vested interest in our sickness. A Time report explains the diabolical cascading of drugs through our lives. If you become addicted to painkillers, there are pills to help you to stop taking the pills by reducing the symptoms of withdrawal. And if you take too many pills, there's a pill for that too. So, however disgusting this might sound, it is actually very much true. People who become addicted to painkillers, they provide something else to stop, to reduce the addiction to painkillers and to help with withdrawal symptoms. Even if that becomes a problem, then they have another pill for that. So if you can see, it's just a whole instead of buying snacks for a snack, everyone's just buying pills for a pill. Everyone, the entire humanity is has gone into a very horrible state where they are pretty much living on pills and depending on pills to give them some excitement in life. Non-veg affects multiple levels, not just your health. One of the major drivers for deforestation is beef cattle. Reading of the article, the following four commodities are the largest drivers of deforestation. Together, they have an outsized impact on the health of our world's forest and climate, annually contributing 3.83 million hectares of deforestation in an area which is about the size of Switzerland. One of the four major deforestation drivers, beef has by far the largest impact. Converting forest to pasture for beef cattle, largely in Latin America, is responsible for destroying 2.71 million hectares of tropical forest each year, an area about the size of the state of Massachusetts in just four countries. This is more than half of tropical deforestation in South America and more than 5 times as much as any other commodity in the region. Non-veg is the major reason for deforestation and greenhouse gases. Beef and soy production are driving more than two-thirds of the recorded habitat loss in Brazil's Amazon and Cerrado regions and Argentina and Paraguay's Gran Chocho region. Demand for soy is closely connected to demand for beef and other animal protein. Between 70 to 75% of all soy becomes livestock feed for chickens, pigs, farm fish, as well as for cows. Here we have a small video, Swamiji, uh, about the food and drug industry, how they both are conspiring against humanity, against you, to keep you sick and make money off of your sickness.
But unfortunately, we don't think even about 10 minutes a day about what we are eating. Society is cheating you. Through food, you are made sick. Once you are sick, you are slave to society because you have to earn to get medicine, to keep yourself alive. Then you are slave once for all to the social structure. Understand? Those days when I grew up, till teenage, we were all able to have healthy, natural, organic food. Only 20s, it becomes our freedom to eat any junk you want. Nowadays, they put so much medicine into that food, it will taste very great.
Identifying the project.
That's all. Tasty poison. And I tell you, it's an international mafia. Understand? People who supply food for you are not interested in your health. They are interested in their wealth. Their priority is not your health. Their priority is their wealth. Do you know in many of the American states, Coke is cheaper than water? How many of you know that? Coke is cheaper than water. Drinking water. Drinking water is costly than the Coke. Especially if you get the large size. In this whole business, whose body is getting destroyed? You. Your body is your life. Your body is your ability to manifest consciousness. Beautifully, Tirumoolar says, Udal valarthen, uyir valarthene. It is your ability to grow the body, your ability to grow consciousness. Denial of body is not going to lead you anywhere other than the graveyard. Denial of body is not spirituality. A new kind of bodies are getting produced by the alcohol, drugs, and non-vegetarian toxic plastic food. High sexual activism, high libido, unimportant. High sexual drive, but impotent. New dangerous bodies are getting created. They are very dangerous for society's stability. In those days, you will not see so many infertility clinics. Actually, too much of kids. Every house will have a dozen. You will not find infertility clinics. Now the whole problem is the other way. Now we are growing more and more with the knowledge and understanding how food is used to enslave you. Understand, the cities have become like a large open prison, that's all. Just few people decide what you should eat and what kind of medicines you will be forced to take, what you should think. Your gossips are decided just by 2-3 people. Just by 2-3 people. They decide what you should gossip. Cities are nothing but open prisons, that's all. Large open prisons, that's all. Where you think you have the keys in your hand. Food. Control of food chain supply is the method with which you are enslaved. Kids who grow up tasting blood and non-veg are the victims of the conspiracy to lose human conscious possibilities. Understand? If you keep your body vegetarian at least one day, something can happen, your third eye can be awakened and you can manifest powers. Once you destroy it with non-veg food, sealed, especially now the modern day, that plastic food has become equivalently damaging to non-veg food. When I say plastic food, all food packed in plastic.
Yes. Beautifully, Swamiji explained how drug industry, the food industry, both of them colliding with each other, both of them conspiring with each other. And fundamentally, it is us as humans, society, we are facing the end result. We are our bodies which are being destroyed for for the sake of they making money, making themselves rich, making their wallets fat. Moving on. How is Kailasa working to save humanity and the world from the food and drug conspiracy? Kailasa's Department of Health. As part of the Kailasa Department of Health, major two contributions which is being offered by Kailasa is the be food free, the Nirahara Samyama, to go beyond food. Apart from the Nirahara Samyama, we also have the Nitya Kriyas, the yogic processes to harness Kundalini energy for self healing and awakening inner potential. Nitya Kriya Swamiji has given more than 100 Kriyas for different diseases, for various disorders, for diabetes, even for cancer, blood pressure, so many different health problems. Swamiji has offered many Kriyas, many techniques to reduce them and to become irrelevant in your life. Not only has Swamiji delivered the Kriyas, but there are also people and the testimonies of how the Kriyas has worked miraculous wonders on them and how they have been able to heal themselves because of the Kriyas. The Nityananda Nirahara Samyama means to explore and discover your body's possibility without having any external input like food or water. Your body is the miniature of the cosmos with all possible intelligence in it. If a fish can swim, you can swim. If a bird can fly, you can fly. Just you need to rediscover those possibilities from your biomemory, reawaken those possibilities in your biomemory. Nityananda Nirahara Samyama, more than 100, it's been happening for more than 100 months and the sessions are ongoing. More than 15,000 participants from all around the world from various parts of the globe. And you have more than 100 lifetime Niraharis. For a lifetime, they have decided to not let food be a deciding factor in their life. For food also to be something which is a luxury, whether they can eat it or whether they do not eat it. That is up to them. But they are not bound by the concept of food or by the concept of eating. Some of the benefits of Nirahara Samyama helps in developing the strong nervous system, builds glowing, shiny skin and no dehydration, consume energy directly from space, cure for diabetes, hypertension, and obesity, improved ability to focus and attention span, anti-aging, and disease-free body as side effects. What is Vakyartha Sadhas? Previously, we discussed so much about the food and the drug industry, how they both are hand in hand working to make money out of your sickness. One is making you sick, and the other one is continuing to keep you sick by giving false drugs and placebo, pretty much giving the placebo effect. Nityanandam, yes, sorry for the technical glitch. As part of the revival of the Kailasa nation and Hinduism, Swamiji has introduced the Vakya Sadhas to all of us, an important aspect unique only to Hinduism. The Vakya Sadhas is not just for us to have deeper truths in the to the powerful cognitions, but also help in building the foundation for the Kailasa nation. The Vakya Sadhas is a part of a four-step process which is laid out in our Vedas and in our Agamas, which is needed to imbibe any powerful cognition or thought current. So, what is the first step process? The first step process starts with the Shravana, listening to the truths from a master. So this is where the whole process of imbibing any powerful cognition, imbibing any thought current starts with listening to it from the master. You can pretty much equate it to eating food. When you consume food, it gets consumed in by your mouth, by it gets chewed and swallowed, it goes and it sits in your intestine, in your stomach, waiting for the digestion process to happen. So as long as you listen to the truth from the master, but you do not do the digestion process, then it is pretty much as equal as dead weight sitting in your stomach. It is the same thing with powerful cognitions and thought currents as well. If you only listen to them, there's pretty much no effect which happens in you. Only with the rest of the steps, with the manana, the Vakyartha and the nididhyasana, which we'll be looking into, only completing this 4-step cycle, only then the full benefit of any of this, only then the full benefit of that powerful cognition of the thought current will work in you. The second step of the 4-step process is the manana, contemplation and internalization of the truth. The third step, the Vakyartha Sadhas, the Kandana and Mandana. The Vakyartha Sadhas is where the Kandana and Mandana of your logic happen. Let me define the words Kandana and Mandana. Kandana means the breaking of your existing binary logic. And Mandana means allowing your logic to expand beyond its binariness, becoming a multidimensional logic. This where Vakyartha is where your intellect expands, and from a binary logic, it becomes the multidimensional logic of the cosmos. Nididhyasana. How much ever you listen, contemplate, have the discussion, the debate, the Vakyarthas, only when you live all these principles in your life, only then any of this will be useful. The whole purpose of life, of Hinduism, of everything is to give people the blissful life, to give people the enlightened science of living. And only if you live life, only then you'll have the enlightened science of living. In today's Vakyarthas, we have viewed some facts on how humanity is being cheated by the food and pharmaceutical industry. What is the ideal lifestyle in terms of food and medicine, and how do we bring this lifestyle to mainstream society? This is the topic for today's Vakyarthas. Before we enter directly into the Vakyarthas for today, we have some devotees joining us from various parts of the world to be a part of today's Vakyarthas, to be a part of today's discussion, who have joined with me on the panel. We have Murliaya joining us from Chennai, India, to be a part of today's Vakyarthas. Nithyananda, thank you so much for coming today and being a part of the Vakyarthas. Yes, yeah. So before we enter into the Vakyarthas directly, let me go ahead and give a brief introduction about myself. My name is Sri Nithyananda Maharaj, and I'm a Balsant of Nithyananda Gurukul. Prior to joining the Nithyananda Gurukul, I was born and brought up in the United States. And reviving Hinduism isn't something which is something which has been with me since my childhood. I remember my father, who was an open advocate to Hinduism long before we had met Swamiji, and it was because of our openness towards Hinduism and a feeling to protect Hinduism, I think, which has blessed Swamiji in our lives. And so this is a few facts about me. Murli, you can go ahead and introduce yourself for the rest of our panel. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Maharaj. This is Murali from Chennai, India. I'm a teacher, trainer by profession. I've been with Swamiji from 2013. I came to Swamiji to attend one inner awakening program, which is actually a 21-day meditation course, which he used to conduct back to back throughout the year in those days. And it is through the program that I realized many dimensions of life. I should say that to recognize that it is the spirituality that is missing in my life, and that is what is actually led me to a saturation point when I could not proceed from some space where I was stuck. I had to pay a very heavy price, and thanks to time, thanks to my brother, who actually sent me to Swamiji and made me discover a whole new world out there. I realized that I had been operating out of a very, very shallow context in life, and how much more there is to life. And somehow, when I came to this inner awakening, I suddenly started feeling younger. It's not about appearance, it's about the being itself feeling very young and feeling that there's a whole world out that is there to explore and understand. and what this is actually needs to be experienced to understand this. And with that youth refreshed in me, lot of clicks happened, lot of miracles, physical miracles have happened, and that is really making me feel really thrilled and excited to be a part of these miracles. And so let me explain all that in actually response to some actually Vakyartha Sadhas questions, because if I go into all that, I think we'll be occupiing a lot of my time, and I may seem irrelevant also. So as of now, thank you.
Yes, Aya. Thank you so much, Aya. So coming back to the topic of today's Vakyartha, we have viewed some facts on how humanity is being cheated by the food and pharmaceutical industry. What is the ideal lifestyle in terms of food and medicine, and how do we bring this lifestyle to mainstream society? So my initial take on this question, what is the ideal lifestyle in terms of food and medicine? I think this is a lifestyle Swamiji used to describe of how Tirunamala used to be, or of how any Indian village used to be back in the day. So each village would be, each house would be self-sufficient, would be self-sustained. Whatever medicine they needed for the daily life, whatever food they needed, and whatever flowers they needed for their puja, everything they would grow within their house. Even the water supply, each house had a well by itself. So each house, each Vatavarna, each house was a self-sustainable environment. They had their own cows, even if for milk and for making other dairy products like curd and so on. So bringing back that lifestyle, whether a person decides to be a nirahara or not, is being a nirahara is the ultimate lifestyle. But many may or may not adapt for the lifestyle, or on their path to becoming a nirahara, they need support until then. So towards moving towards that lifestyle, the best way to support a person to the best way I see as the balance between the food and pharmaceutical industry, best way a person can live in that lifestyle between food and medicine is to bringing back that lifestyle where everyone grows their own vegetables, everyone grows their own needs, flowers and whatever other herbs they need. Another very important aspect which Swamiji had shared the other day, why Hinduism had never faced this problem of the drug industry working on using humanity as their bank account, basically, from where they continuously mine out money, is the doctors were paid only if their patients were healthy. Only if a doctor, if there was a doctor and he was the only doctor in the village, the whole village would pay him only if they were healthy. If the villagers are not healthy, then naturally they will not be able to, what the main everyone's main profession at the time was agriculture. That is the most of the people, that is what they were doing. So only if the villagers are healthy, only then they will be able to bring healthy crops, they'll be able to bring any crops at all. And only if they get crops, only then a portion of it could even go to the doctor. So it was the primary duty of a doctor not to make money when a patient, when his customers or his patients were sick, but he would get his share of the profit only when they were healthy. And that was how beautifully the whole system was designed. So the money which the doctor makes is doesn't come from the sickness of the patients, but comes from excuse me, but comes from how healthy they were. So bringing back these two things, where fundamentally you change how from the source of the doctor's income, as well as allowing each and every ecosystem, enriching them, helping them to build a self-sustainable unit for themselves, be it water or be it growing their own plants. Only if we get back to that lifestyle, only then we'll be able to once and for all solve this problem which humanity is facing regarding the food and the drug industry. This is my initial take on this question. Yeah, you can go ahead and share your viewpoints, your initial take on the question. Please go ahead, Aya.
Thank you, Maharaj. See, my initial take, even I remember in my own house we had a well, and I also remember getting milk from the cows directly those days. Uh, how is the food industry cheating us? That is the question. Uh, See, the trend of the day seems to be something called fast food. What is this fast food? It is something that you eat quickly. You mean to eat. You mean to eat quickly, which is otherwise not possible. See, Today, if one has to prepare an elaborate meal, like all that food items that we prepare on a daily basis, we don't have time for all that. Whereas if we just eat this fast food, we have something to gobble and we are out for the day. We go for work or we go to school, and there ends it. So this may be useful in terms of filling our stomach for the time and maybe giving a few calories, but ultimately we desperately lack in nutrition, and that is what is the reason for many of our diseases. We go to a doctor for a lot of this. So the food industry is cheating us in a way that we are not allowed to have nutrition. See, there was a time when the slogan was "Unave marundu marunde unangu," means food is the medicine, medicine is the food. But today we have separated the two, and that is not a very healthy thing. It's not a very desirable state of affairs. So if we have to go back to those days when what we eat as food itself is the nutrition that we will get. That itself is the medicine that we can have. It's a very big blessing, and thanks to Swamiji for reviving that. I think I'll start with this point itself in the initial state, and I'll elaborate about how this is necessary, stating my personal experiences with my parents, friends, and all that in the subsequent instance. Thank you.
Yes, yeah. Thank you so much for your initial take. So actually coming back, be it you or be it me, we have pretty much mentioned, actually I brought up a very valid point here. One of the major problems that even though we know the ideal lifestyle of how humanity should continue, we are unfortunately everyone has grown around and has become so busy all of a sudden, and because of everyone being busy, naturally opting for fast food and those take and go options, that has become very something which a lot of people are doing these days. And most people are not even cooking their own food, so forget about farming and growing their own food. So fundamentally the whole lifestyle on which humanity is living right now is not the ideal lifestyle, where everyone is continuously running but don't know where they're going to end up. They're just running for the sake of running. Now they're giving a reason of job, next they'll give a reason of relationship, and next some other reason, but continuously some of the other reasons are coming up for them to just continue running, and even they do not know when they're going to end. Initially we think that during college and during our studies, you would think that once I finish studying, once I graduate, once I get a job, I can settle down and my life would be at peace. But then at the time when you graduate and you get a job, and you think, okay, maybe after I get married, after my job also, I'll start getting a better salary, then I can relax. Then you get married, you get a better salary, but no, things do not relax. And then at the same, then you, okay, let my kids grow up, and then when they grow up, I can finally retire. And after, at the time of my retirement, I will be able to sit and relax. But at the time, it's too late. You're almost 60, 70, maybe even 80. So what is the point of preparing your whole life to experience that relaxation at the last 20 or maybe 10 years of your living? Basically, our whole lifestyle, which is being lived by humanity this day, is very, very doesn't make any sense at all. And you're pretty much wasting the first 60 years of your life to live peacefully for the last 20 years, which you may not even know how much time you're even going to live, and whether you'll be living healthily or not, whether you'll be able to fulfill all the aspirations, all the desires you had. When you're 16, 70, what is possible to even be done in your life? You'll be tied up to one bed or one chair, and you'll be sitting in front of the TV and watching TV the whole day. That is pretty much the only life you're going to be having from that age onwards. So the whole lifestyle pretty much itself is completely it's very backwards mental setup, and it doesn't make any sense even. So yeah, what is your view on this? How is it that we can even to bring in this lifestyle of everyone growing their own food, or even to become a nirahara, to make this main lifestyle, this ideal lifestyle, into a main lifestyle? The whole society as a whole, the whole lifestyle is a very retarded lifestyle, for lack of a better word. So how is it that we can start changing this little by little, at least start changing this in the mental setup of the people, how we can start making them understand uh, how Unfortunately, I'm not able to get the right word for it, but how retarded the lifestyle they are living is.
Okay. Uh, Even when you ask this question, I've been thinking through, and I'm just trying to understand where we are heading and how we can get people to look at the idea of the right way of life. I'm just thinking through, thinking aloud. Maybe you see, this idea of we don't have time to prepare our food, we don't have time to for the right kind of food and all that. It starts. Can I say we are greedy for more money? You might wonder. The viewers might wonder how I'm saying this. See, uh, uh, if you are very content with some salary, with some amount of money that you are paid per month, that is closer at home, then you will have more time for yourself. You can cook your own food, buy your own food, cook your own food, and eat it in peace, and go there and work. But you go to a very far off place because they are paying you a bigger salary. You are greedy for more money, and that is why you are going there. This is one fact which I see. Maybe I'm giving a very superficial answer, but still, I think this is also a motivating factor to decide how much you eat. See, for example, when I work in a school, I'm actually a teacher by profession. I told you that in the introduction. If I work in a school that is closer to my house and be content with the small salary, it's a very small school. It is the whole number of students here are not even, I think, I think 500 or something, not even that many. But if I go to an international school that is starting very early in the morning, as let us say 7:30 or 8, then I have to start from my house by around 5 to reach there on time, to be punctual at the school for the place of my work. Then, but what will I have at 5:30 in the morning? I will not have any time to eat. So yeah, sorry. So what time or where will I have time to eat anything? At the most, I can only munch something on the way. And during when I munch something on the way, whether even if it is the school bus, then what will I eat then? I will not be able to eat anything at all. So this is the way. So with the kind of workplace where you feel you will like to work, that also has got a say in the whole thing. And similarly, one more thing I found is these corporate houses are very strict about the duration of the lunch interval. Somewhere I read recently that Amazon is being very strict with the employees about lunch interval, and even if they are 1 minute later than the actual lunch time that is provided for them, they are fined. Their pay is cut and whatever they are punished or whatever it is. So all these things are actually contributing to one's ill health. One cannot eat in such a hurry. One has to enjoy his food. One has to chew his food, enjoy his food for the full nutrition to happen inside him, full nutrition absorption to happen inside him. If one eats in a hurry, that is when the diseases all start setting in. So we have to live a kind of lifestyle where uh, uh, we are not all the time chasing deadlines. We have to be more relaxed. That is where I think many things start about how we are being healthy. Because after all, we are eating what we are only providing the stomach something just to say that okay, I fed you, I've given you something, now just work on this. That is, it's like providing something for the time being. This idea of fast food or eating something quickly is all about telling the stomach, okay, as of now, be content with this. And that's how you keep starving, and you starve. Don't You're not starving your body, not just physically, you're starving even nutrition wise. And all your see the whole the bones, nerves, muscles, everything is a connected whole, and everything needs to be given nutrition in its own way. But this idea of fast food and eating something, having a quick snack, this idea of quick snack, quick bite, and all these things actually helps nothing but fill the stomach physically. It is not helping anything nutrition wise. It is not helping the body nutrition wise. So if we actually are cognizant of all these things, then we will choose our workplace wisely. We will work in a place where I mean, the very idea of eating itself will change. Once upon a time, our rishis or kings ate only when they are honestly hungry. They don't. They never ate because it was time to eat. They didn't eat based on any timing, but they ate only when they are actually hungry. This is a very important point. That idea doesn't exist today. We are just chasing deadlines and moving like a machine. And I think this is what is has started telling us on the health. And added to this is the fact that we don't grow crops naturally. We are using more pesticides than manure and all that. So if we keep chasing deadlines, that is also a very important factor in going against what will be healthy for us. This is what I will say. So I'll add some more points in further later. Thank you, Maharaj.
Yes, I am. Yes, actually, due to the pandemic, and actually even before that, a lot of people were making their own food, and at least in small ways, they are starting to grow their own food. So if you actually look at like that, it is possible to, so at least maybe not as completely shifting over to growing our own food, but in small ways, people are growing their own food. They're doing the gardening, and it's actually starting to become even uh, what is that word for it? Fashionable in some places to grow your own food and live an organic lifestyle. So yeah, what is the best way in which we can encourage that lifestyle, encourage more and more to do their own gardening? Because as soon as people do their own gardening, number one, they are getting organic food. Second, a very important point actually happens that Swamiji had mentioned this previously in the Satsangs, where the importance of what happens when you walk barefoot. So when you walk barefoot, actually, Swamiji had revealed this saying, which was from the Agamas directly. When you walk barefoot, naturally, Bhumata, she is scanning and doing the body scanning. She is also doing the body scanning power on each and every one of us by the contact of her foot on the ground. And by walking barefoot continuously and the Bhumata doing the body scanning of all of us, or like within our surrounding area, the food which grows in that surrounding area. So for example, if we are in, say, in ashram, if we are in ashram and we are walking barefoot, and in the same ashram we are growing our own food as well, the food which is grown will automatically be grown with those antibodies, with those herbs needed for us to have an beautiful immune system, and which are needed and required for our body. It is not a separate herb which is grown, but those herbs are, but those things which are needed, be it the be it for for the sake of making our body immune to certain diseases. If any vitamins or calcium or some mineral is lacking in our body, those minerals, those vitamins are grown in those plants themselves. So whatever crop you are growing, be it beetroot or tomato or brinjal, and whatever is you're growing, all these herbs, all these antibodies, everything is grown within that. And so that plays a very major role, and that's the same food which you're eating is the same food as medicine as well. So Swamiji told that in Hinduism, food and medicine were more or less one and the same thing. It was only when for a very serious disease, if something which is very serious problem, only special care, special treatment was given. But more or less, in terms of tablets and these small things, especially vaccination, the concept of vaccination itself, I don't think existed at during our time, because we had no need for it. Whatever was needed by our bodies, whatever was needed for the sake of our immune system, for the sake of our healthy living, was grown within the plants itself. So it was not some separate herb, some separate recipe, some separate treatment which is given to us, but it was given to us as a part of our food itself. So yeah, given this context, what is the best way in which we can enrich more and more people, help more and more people to have the gardening as their something which they're doing as a great daily lifestyle, growing their own crops?
See, people are actually growing their own crops and eating that organic food. Their health must be evident. I think only that will motivate other people also to do the same thing. See, even in my own dad's case, he never actually opted for Karkapudi. He never said yes to it. Till the last minute, he never said yes to it, and that was a very disturbing state of things. Even now, my mom says, like, why should I take Karkapudi when I am not suffering anything? This is so much has been done as a way of brainwashing people to make everybody believe that it's a kind of medicine we take for a particular illness. The idea of having food itself as the relevant medicine, that is, it has gone out of our thought current. The idea of having food itself as medicine, I think, has to be encouraged. It is not for any particular disease that you are taking this kind of food. It is because this having this as your food will maintain your body healthy. That thought has to be encouraged. See, one has to. Actually, my dad opted for English medicine. He always goes for this the modern medicine because there's a definitive dosage. There's a definitive starting point of taking the medicine. There's a definitive dosage that you should take. There's a definite point of time that you take, and there's a definite end point at the end of which you go back to the doctor, and when he will re-diagnose you and say that you are healthy. But as a person who takes this Ayurveda, this Hindu way of medicine, you must understand that you are not pronounced as healthy because you don't have a disease. Being healthy is totally different. All your body parts are functioning in its fullest potential is what we define as health. It's not simply the absence of any disease. So that is very vital. That must be understood. So if you want to encourage more people, then we have to make them clear the idea of looking at health from the Vedic point of view is totally different from how we do it in how we do if we take English medicine, the modern medicine. Only when this difference is actually shown and made clear, we will even motivate more people. We will inspire more people towards this kind of lifestyle. That's what I will say. The very idea of looking at the healthy body, healthy mind, that itself is different. Why we need to eat this kind of food? It's not about it's not because you are suffering this disease. It's not because you are suffering from this health issue. You need to eat like this. So that's a reactive way of doing it. That's a way of curing a disease. But when you eat in a particular way, some diseases, some disorders itself, they won't happen. That won't manifest. That preventive thing or maintaining a healthy way of life, that should be the thought current. So we have to change the very thought current of the common man. I think only that will help more and more people adopt this kind of lifestyle. And of course, one very, I'll say again, very very cheap suggestion, but I don't know how else we can start people into this. As of now, I think India is still a country where agriculture is encouraged, agricultural income is less taxed, and it is like that. So that also will help. If this is also made aware, if the common man is made aware of this, the land around his plot, building house, they will use for agriculture, and they will grow some fruits or vegetables or whatever, and we can see what effect it brings to people. Thank you. I think I've answered you, Maharaj. Thank you.
Yes, yeah. Thank you so much. Actually, so another best way to enrich a person regarding this, bringing this lifestyle into a mainstream lifestyle, is fundamentally if they are convinced about Hinduism and convinced about the Hindu way of living, then naturally they will automatically start implementing a lot of these things, be it doing Nirahara Samyama, or growing our own crops, our own vegetables, living non-violent free lifestyle where you do not consume any non-violent product, not just non-veg, but even products made out of animals like leather and living a violent free lifestyle. living a violent-free lifestyle. So I think fundamentally for one-stop solution, instead of sitting and enriching each and every person for each and every aspect. One of the best ways to do this is bringing them to the Paramashivam program. So Paramashivam program is where you get oriented into Hinduism, the correct orientation of Hinduism by authentic Hindus, by practicing Hindus for Hindus for an authentic Hindu way of lifestyle. The Paramashivam program directly is going to be conducted by Swamiji next month, and it is an ongoing program as well. To become a part of the Paramashivam program, to get the correct orientation in Hinduism, or if you have a near and dear one and you want them to have the correct orientation of Hinduism, if you want the whys for the house for certain things in your life, why should a certain practice be followed? Why do we wear the Yajnapavitam? Why is Paramashiva asking us to live a non-violent lifestyle? For all of these questions, if you want them to get answers, and if you want them to also become a practicing Hindu, you can register for the Paramashivam program. You can visit paramashivam.nithyananda.org. Let's watch a small video now about the Paramashivam program. Please stay tuned.
The time is right. The world is ready. You are going to experience literally Paramashiva. Most powerful, intangible but definitive, intense processes. This is the most powerful spiritual nuclear explosion, the strong force of Kailasa landing on planet Earth directly. One thing I can be sure, you will not exist end of the program. I can guarantee that.
Yes, we've almost come to the end of today's Vakyartha now. Before we conclude the today's Vakyartha, I'd like to sincerely thank Murli Ayya. Ayya, thank you so much, Ayya, for coming today and for being a part of today's Vakyartha. This is a very important topic, actually, the food and drug industry. Why humanity needs to be, yes, Ayya, why humanity needs to have this enlightened, realization of how they are being cheated, not only by the people who are offering medicine, but by the people who are feeding them as well. So thank you so much, Ayya, for coming today and be a part of this Vakyartha. So with this, it's time to enter into the meditation. Prepare ourselves to receive Swamiji Nitya Satsang. Please sit straight with your head, neck, and spine in a straight line. Close your eyes and bring your awareness into your Ananda Gandha. Visualize Swamiji sitting there in your Ananda Gandha as Paramashiva with 25 heads and 50 hands. Now, allowing this mantra to reverberate throughout your entire body, start chanting the Mahavakya, Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
I bless you all. Let you all open all your three eyes and manifest the powers of Mahasadashiva. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.